feel you watching me. Pull up across the room. I think you like the view. You gonna make a move. I don't make this easy for you.
Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Good Luck Sis. So if you guys have seen, Girlfriend's Guide Podcast is done. So we weren't really lying to y'all, but we're still here. And I'm so excited. This is our first time recording in person in almost a year since September.
Yeah.
And we had to come correct. If we're going to end Girlfriend's Guide Podcast and enter this new era of Good Luck Sis, we had to do it right. So sorry for, if y'all was just like, oh, were they really ending? We apologize, but we had to, we had to do it right. We had to close the chapter just to open a new one. So I am your host, Tati J.
And I'm your host, Ellie.
And welcome to Good Luck Sis.
Sis.
Oh, I'm so excited. That was cute. It wasn't planned.
Hope you guys are not mad at us.
I know.
We wanted something humorous. We wanted something we can look back and laugh, and you guys can be like, really? They did that? Like, of course we would do something like that.
Exactly.
It's us.
Exactly. So, Good Luck Sis, what is it? Why did we start it? Why did we change the name? Why did we end Girlfriend's Guide Podcast? We're going to go into all of that with you guys. But first off, subscribe to us. The Instagram should be Good Luck Sis. We will put it up on the screen in terms of how to spell, if there's, underscores and all that. We're still figuring that out. But by the time this episode comes, the Instagram will still be Good Luck Sis. Believe the YouTube will be Good Luck Sis in terms of that. If you guys need to email us, the email is still the same at this point. Girlfriend's Guide
and we'll
Podcast.
make sure to, as we transition over to fully Good Luck Sis, we'll make sure to put into more detail.
Yeah.
If we have a new email address, anything that will be more of Good Luck Sis, we'll make sure to update you guys.
Yeah, we'll give you guys all the updates. But I'm excited to
really
jump
excited.
and dive in. And when y'all hear the story, y'all, this is why we had to be together to do this. We had to be in person. We had to start fresh. Because this journey, it's it. If y'all don't know, we're Haitian. And then you listeners, we are Haitian. So you'll hear some Creole up in here. But yeah, so let's just dive in. So, icebreaker. 3 words that describe Girlfriend's Guide Podcast.
Girlfriend's Guide Podcast. That used to be that's the parent of Good Luck Sis. That's the parent.
Yeah.
That's the parent. That's...
Or I feel like it's the baby too. Well, go ahead. We'll get into that.
I feel like it's the parent. 3 words to describe it. I would say it has been difficult, rewarding, and worthwhile.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the 3 words to describe it.
I feel like I said Good Luck Sis. Girlfriend's Guide Podcast.
It's gonna take some time.
It's gonna take some time. Girlfriend's Guide Podcast is, I describe it as necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I think challenging.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're using different words for each other.
Yeah.
Difficult, challenging.
Yeah. And I feel just, I don't know, blossoming at the same time. I feel like, worthwhile. Like Ellie said, she feels like it's the parent. I feel like it's the baby.
I feel like it's the baby and then the parent.
I feel like because it was so young. We were 24? You were 24 or 25? 24. And it's just like, we were babies back then, but we created something so big, I feel like, for us in our lives.
It's the parent that's giving birth.
To Good Luck Sis. And I feel like it's the baby version, and now we're going into Good Luck Sis.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I love it. I'm going to miss it, but I do think the initial reason, which we'll get into why we changed it, we needed to, but I also feel like it's a reason probably why it happened now too, because if we had changed it back then when we wanted to, I feel like not enough has changed in our lives back then versus now it's completely different.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited.
I'm really excited for this new step. I'm excited to see what comes out of Good Luck Sis.
I know.
Because I feel like with Girlfriend's Guide Podcast, we accomplished so much, all that we could do, even with all the difficulties that we had. I ended up moving, but we still made sure that we made it work, even though, life happens and, we can't put out episodes all the time, but we were as consistent
as
that
we could be. Yeah, exactly.
So, and I remember when starting a podcast, they say if you can go at least 3 months or 2 months without quitting,
then you're there. Well,
then
here
you're
we are.
there. And here we are, 3 years
three and a half years later. So here we are. Yeah. So what are 3 words to describe Good Luck Sis?
Ooh,
I can start first if you want me to.
I would say it's next step.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it as I'm gonna say this, but y'all can. It's gonna be I could see it as in collaborations with other people. And the word I want to say, the next word would be, I could see it as another like stream of income. But I'm like, other people are like, oh, you're doing this for money. But no, it's just more of like, I could see this being me stepping away from like my 9 to 5 and doing this full time. It's just so as natural. Good Luck Sis is natural.
Yes.
As Girlfriend's Guide was we just started. We were new podcasters.
We didn't know what we were doing.
So Good Luck Sis is not new, even though, because it's the baby, but it's not new, but it is like it's old. We're like not expertise at this.
But we know what we're doing.
Yeah. We know what we're doing. So I'm like,
the background.
I'm like, I could fully say I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
Like,
come
on.
Yeah. For me, I would say it's new, profitable, because I have the same.
That's that income.
And then scary. And I feel like scary because, like you said, we're not new in this anymore. And I just feel like we had so many life transitions happen within the first 3.5 years of creating this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like, now we know what we're doing. So now it's like, all right, I feel like expectations, whether other people have them on us or not, but ourselves, the way me and Ellie go, we have go. So it's kind of like, if we can't get there with Good Luck Sis, then is this really what we're meant to do? So I feel like that kind of pressure comes along, but I feel like it's going. Like, I feel like we took Girlfriend's Guide as far as we could.
Yeah.
This, new heights, new limits. We're starting fresh in a sense. So we have, and to be honest, one of my major accomplishments was collaborating with Mandy on her podcast. And if y'all don't know, Mandy, co-host of Horrible Decisions. See, the thing is, she is major in this podcast game, and she reached out to us 2 years ago now and asked us to be on one of her podcasts. And that in itself, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it to people who don't know podcasting, but that is a big deal. And I just feel like if we could do that back then, when it's like we were in school, we were doing this, we were doing that, and now we actually have the time, the equipment, the team, the scenery. We have all the things we need to really propel forward. I can only imagine what we can really do with this.
I don't know if anybody know, but when we started Girlfriend's Guide podcast, it all started in a little room.
Yeah, her bedroom.
There was a bed and there was a little table desk, and lights were falling,
breaking.
And then we upgraded to the chicken room. Shout out to our the chicken room studio. We will forever be grateful for them.
Forever.
So we moved there, and now we are all the way in Dallas, where we have a whole studio space to ourselves, working with Primark Media.
Yes.
So we feel blessed. It's like blessings keep coming. And even though like when we started the podcast, I was in grad school, then Tati started grad school. So it hasn't been a smooth transition, and we've had difficulties, but we keep just powering through to make sure that we can really see where this grows.
Exactly. So I'm really excited for that. So diving into why we did this, what's the purpose? Is this basically the same as Girlfriend's Guide podcast? Y'all just changed the name.
Yeah.
So realistically, honestly, the reason we did this was because we
had no choice.
We weren't going to make any, not saying profit was the goal, but when you work hard and we see the talent that we've been able to give you guys, we obviously want to be able to grow, make money, to grow even more, to provide more. And with the name Girlfriend's Guide Podcast, unfortunately, we're not able to do that. So, because if y'all haven't heard of Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, it's a lovely show.
Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, Girlfriend's Guide to Parenting, Girlfriend's
Guide to everything.
Everything. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. I personally love the show.
Yes.
I watched it before this podcast. I told myself I would never watch it again because sis made it hard for us. Watch it again. It's a good show. But basically, we couldn't trademark our name, which means we couldn't use it for like legal purposes. So signing contracts, merch, all of those things. We could not use that name without the potential of possibly being sued by a homegirl who got millions and millions.
Yep.
We don't got that.
And our lawyer was like, hey, you can reach out to her and be like, hey, like, we just want to know whether or not you wouldn't mind. But
she already trademarked it under, mind you, she don't even got a podcast, but she trademarked it because she's smart.
Yes.
She's a businesswoman. So we were just like, we're not doing that. We don't got the money to fight her. She got millions. She's a big deal. We're just going to take the L and come up with a new name.
Yes.
Now, the process of coming up with a new name already kind of took us months. We kind of sent it out to our close friends. Do you like this? Do you like that? Blah, blah. And it wasn't, and the way we came up with this name, we didn't even come up with it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Van, Chicken Room Studio. We were literally in the studio one day, and then some random girl had texted Ellie.
Oh my gosh.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. You think that my life is a show or not? Some girl tried to text me as in like I was either seeing her man, and I don't know who, it was a number I didn't know, and I was like, who is this girl? And mind you, we had just came back from Miami.
Yeah.
And there was a whole situation.
With that.
Married man.
And
I just do me. Guys.
Yeah.
And this girl texted me and I was just like, okay, well, good luck, sis.
And then Van goes, that's a good name for the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, that is.
Yeah.
Like, okay, good luck. We kept saying it.
I hope you find the girl you're looking for, but I'm not the girl that's with your man.
Exactly.
Good luck, sis.
And then, so that's how the name Good Luck Sis was created. And like I said, that's the reason why we needed to change it, because we wasn't going to ever really get to the point where I feel like we can go with that name. There's like contracts we've passed up on, ideas we've had, like merch, like we wanted to do all this, like we couldn't. So every time when we would tell you guys on a podcast, give you guys little like snippets, like, y'all wait till you hear this story.
Yeah.
There's a reason we can't do this, or there's a reason. I feel like that stopped our growth so much.
Yes.
Because one thing about me and Ellie, we like to do things the proper way, because y'all ain't about to come. We're not filing bankruptcy over here.
Yeah, we're the only child, so we don't got sisters or brothers to
we're
go to.
We're not doing nothing. So that's why we became an LLC. We did the things legally, but it's like we couldn't do so much because of like literally like signing a simple contract. There's plenty of people that we wanted to collaborate with. We got into the works. We talked to our lawyer. She goes, yeah, about that.
Yeah.
And this was back in 2021. We are now in 2023, and we just got approved for this name change in March. And at that point, COVID had happened, and we were still kind of in it, 2021. And, you know, the court system was completely backed up. And she goes, yeah, this is going to take like a good 6 to 8 months, 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And then, unfortunately, shout out to our lawyer, Dorothy, but she had to step away from becoming our lawyer. And so we got moved onto her team. And with that, we kind of just honestly got lost in the sauce. Yeah. They didn't really reach out to us. We would reach out. They, you know, they probably had their own internal things going on. But then we finally met with someone because we got a notification that our trademark was expired, the application. So then they did it again. And then we were working with her. She goes, okay, it may take this long. Boom, they're shutting down.
And transition to another lawyer.
Transition to another lawyer. And we're just kind of like, maybe this ain't not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we have to stick with Girlfriend's Guide podcast, but we're never going to make money. Not saying that's the goal, but still, you know? So maybe the podcast should end. Like, we were just like, this has been going on for almost 2 years. What do we do?
And the reason why we're like talking about profit is that people have reached out to us wanting to work with us, offering us deals, and we're really shutting down deals. We're like, and I think people who are reaching out, looking at us like, are you guys really turning this down? Yeah. Like, we've had people who really want to work with us. They see potential in us. We're like, sorry, we don't want to sign this contract.
Because, God forbid.
God forbid.
Yeah. So we just kind of got defeated because it was so annoying. And then we meet with this other lawyer. We're going through it. He's telling us this, he's telling us that. And then boom, we get an email in March. Yeah. And then Ellie texts me, Tati, the trademark got approved. And when I tell you, I felt such a sense of relief. Yes. Because I was just like, God.
We were like, God is good. God is good.
We in here now. Like, finally, we got this. And it just it felt so good. And then we were just kind of like, how are we going to roll this out? How are we going to do this? Da, 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 da. And it was just like, I think one day I sent Ellie a voice. I was like, so we have until this day to really put this name change out. We got to do it big.
Yeah.
We got to go back to the basics. The way we rolled out Girlfriend's Guide podcast, we got to do it this way. We got to be in person.
Yeah.
And I was just like, boom. So tell me when I can come down.
Yep.
We're going to bang out boom, boom, boom episodes, and we're going to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are today, getting it done. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us. So that is the story of the 2-year process that took us to get this name change. That is why I honestly do feel like there's so much more we could have done with Good Luck. Wow. Girlfriend's Guide podcast. And we couldn't. And there's probably a reason for it. And like I said, if we had done it 2 years ago, we weren't really in major life transitions versus now. I feel like we have so much more to offer this
Podcast,
new
yeah.
podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I know some of you guys are asking, like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Good Luck Sis, Girlfriend's Guide podcast. We're mature now, baby.
We're grown.
We're grown.
We're successful.
Okay.
2 masters right here.
Okay.
Successful black
Fiancé.
woman. Fiancé. Okay.
Nurse practitioner. All right? We are not the little girls that you guys used to know.
Oh my gosh, I need to be more fun. We have a whole episode on, like, we have a whole reflection on who we used to be.
And who we are today. But I think, like...
We can deliver more to you guys, because I think the podcast originally is just like, if there's a young woman out there our age watching us, they can relate to us.
Yes.
And I feel like with the experiences over the years that we went through, we're able to now
relate to you guys more.
Yeah, talk to you guys more about
things.
life.
Yes. So I definitely feel like I said, that's why I feel like Girlfriend's Guide podcast was the baby.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're the grown oldest. So we the aunties.
For the aunties.
We the aunties. We was the young girls in the streets outside. Now we the aunties that like to stay at home and drink wine.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm really proud to bring a new aspect. I feel like we've grown so much individually.
So much.
And I don't know if you guys can see it, because you guys only get episodes from us, like, twice a month. But I know I see it within each other, and I feel like I want to be able to give that to you guys now. And I feel like now we're in a place where we finally can.
We're wiser. We're wiser. I'm
stronger. I'm better. Much better. Shout out to gospel music on a Sunday.
Amen. Hallelujah.
But yeah, so I feel like that's really the difference. And like, the aesthetic too, we came a little bit more grown and proper with the outfits, the set, like, I just feel like we're entering, and we're both 28, and I really feel like this happens 27, 28.
Yeah.
You enter this new era of womanhood. We're just like, ooh.
We're really woman.
Huh. I'm a grown woman.
Every woman.
It's all in me. I got a voice.
That's my national anthem.
I got a low-key voice.
You better sing
Who
it.
got a studio? Who wants me in the studio? I got a voice. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just excited to just go through. And I also feel like now, one of the major concerns me and Ellie had starting this podcast when we were younger was like, oh my God, our parents. Oh my God, our job. Oh my God, what is someone doing? We're talking about sex. We're talking about this. We're talking about that. Our experiences. And now I'm grown.
Everything on the table. We talk about it all.
I'm grown. And it's just kind of like, and personally, me, I feel like I was just like even my mom to this day, I'm like, well, you can't watch certain episodes because I swear. Oh, why you swear for? Da da da. But she goes, but I know you talk about sex. I'm like, yeah, but like, you don't need to see a certain side of me. And to this day, I still feel like that. But I feel like I'm becoming more confident, and it's just like I am multifaceted. I am a daughter, but I'm a grown woman.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just one thing I can be.
Yeah.
And it's like
you can't restrict yourself on being fully you.
Exactly.
And that's the thing with the podcast. We want to connect to everyone.
Yes.
And we're not going to try to be who we're not. It's just like we talk about the experience we go through.
Yeah.
And then that way, whoever's listening to us can connect with us. So it's just like, let's talk about sex.
And I think we've also gone to certain things in life where it's just like, yeah, I really don't care what you got to say, mom, dad, uncle, worker,
I'm 28 years old.
Supervisor. Like, what I do is what I do. And I feel like we've become more comfortable really going through our experiences and being vulnerable. So
and being more confident, too.
Yeah, and you're going to see grown woman problems. I mean, yeah, I feel like Girlfriend's Guide was heavily based on dating. Baby, I'm still single. We're still going to talk about it. We're still going to talk about sex, dating, relationships, the when I'm not in situation. We're gonna talk about
Later on, it's
all of
about
that.
to be wedding,
Why?
wife.
And I feel like we can now give two different perspectives on that.
Yeah.
Because when we last saw Ellie, baby, she never been in a relationship.
Remember, guys?
And now she a fiance.
We're talking about shooting your shot, you know? I didn't still shoot my shot, but you know, they found me.
I'm done.
My husband did find me in my house, okay? He did find me in my house, so some of us don't really have to go outside.
I have been outside and I still haven't found one, but it's okay. We're going to talk about that in another episode. Anyways, so we can now bring different perspectives too. Like, I feel like before we were more on a linear path and now we're kind of going separate, but I like it. Because she can share her experiences, I can share my experiences.
Exactly.
So you guys get to see more of a different kind of us as friends because we're going through two different journeys.
Yes.
So it's gonna be good.
I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited.
I feel so grown. Oh my god, I feel so grown. Oh wow, I just answered the next question. So, what do you think? See, I was about to say, good, guys, Girlfriends Guy Podcast, Good Luck Sis is gonna be interchangeable at this point because I can't get it together. What do you feel like Girlfriends Guy Podcast has taught us in just podcast world, but just life in general?
I feel like in the past couple of years, just in life, with Girlfriends Guy Podcast, too, just having faith, like with doing just podcasting in general is a lot of work. Like you're putting in the time. And then if you're not seeing like, you know, growth, you're just like, oh, I feel disappointed. Like, I don't know if I should keep going. But in life in general, you just need to have faith to keep pushing and just be encouraged and know that at the end of the day, like God has your back and just like, you can just keep going and then, you know, you'll see the blessings. And that's how I feel about the podcast. Like there was so much difficulty and a lot of stress and just growing it in general. But at the end of the day, we just kept having faith to keep going because honestly, with just the move and us having to record in different times and all that, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But we just kept having faith, like this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like there needs to be a Tati and Ellie out there. You know, there's people that really connect with us and we do want to go back to just having that relationship with you guys in our DMs where you guys reach out to us and we can give you tips on dating, whether it's anything that we can just really connect with you guys. That's what we really want. So it has taught me to just have faith because sometimes you can just be very like discouraged. It's a lot with just life, work, but it's just like, girl, keep pushing. Keep going. It's just like telling yourself, like, keep going. You still have to record. You still got to do this. So
I think for me, it's taught me that like you can't have it all. Like I said, it's kind of like we're so, especially culture-wise, 9 to 5. You don't have time for anything on the side. But I feel like this podcast is why I'm a poet. Like it's just the creative side. It's opened so much other doors in my life, and I know it's going to continue to do that, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. And it's just like, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I'm not too sure. But when I was little, you know, you're little, you can't articulate yourself, and it's like I would think about like, I don't know why I was little thinking about life. I would think about life, and it's like lawyer, doctor, nurse. That's the only thing you could be when you're Haitian. I was just like, it don't hit. Even though I'm a nurse practitioner, pediatric. That's a little change since Girlfriend's Guides podcast started. Even though I am in that field, I know for a fact now it's not enough for me. It doesn't fulfill my soul. It doesn't fulfill my passion. It's not enough. My goal, if God's will, would be to transition out of that and be in a creative space full time. But when I was younger, I would just say, Mommy, I'm not normal. Like I can't, like myself trying to explain my feelings at that age to my mom.
Little Tati,
right?
Mommy, I hate
and she hated when she goes, what is wrong with you? Why are you not normal? Don't say that. She goes, don't tell other people that, you know? And I was like, I'm an alien. I used to be like, Mommy, I'm an alien. And she would be like, why? I was like, because.
See the fit. Y'all see the fit, huh?
And I was
not my sis probably thinking she associates. Have you seen those people who associate to like mermaids and stuff like that?
No, but I associate to aliens. So
I know,
right? It's
but
like,
you don't get you.
I'm not normal. I'm an alien. She was like, well, don't say that. Like, you know, Haitians, when you say stuff like that, it's like job voodoo. Like, stop it. You're scaring me. And I was just like, what do you mean? I was like, because I'm like, I know in my life I can't be normal. And to me, normal was nurse, doctor, like doing something, coming home 9 to 5, raising the kids, going. That's what normal meant to me. So when I said I'm an alien, I meant I have to be different from that. I was like, I don't know. My life is not going to be normal. My life is not going to be like everyone else. And that's what I meant. And I knew that's what I meant. I just couldn't articulate that. And I feel like I was right. Like, I profited my life because here I am.
Yeah.
And I truly feel like that till this day. Like, we were just talking downstairs with Oba, like, God will lead you out
Yep.
of what you are in to bring you to what you really need to be. And like I said, nursing, it's one of those things. I'm Haitian. I went into it and everything lined up where I could make it through, and I graduated with a degree. Wanted to just take a step further because you never know. I was young, no husband, no kids. Might as well get another degree. When you get bored, might as well get another degree. And same thing, everything lined up where I was able to make it through, and here I am.
Right.
But I know for a fact this is not where I'm only supposed to be. I know there's a creative aspect of me. Like, I really see us in essence. Like, I really see that type of vibe.
And I feel like I have to say this because with Tati even saying that, she saw herself as like an alien. Even before I even knew what household name was, I always said that. I'm like, my name, for those who don't know, is not just Ellie, guys.
Yes.
My name is Elu Kenda, okay? That's a household. I was like, my name is to be said in people's, like, house. Like, I always said that to myself.
Like a Tabitha Brown. Like, that's in people's houses.
That's a lot, though.
Baby, we'll take it.
I just always, and this is why I always push myself to do, here's the thing. If I say I'm going to do something,
we're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to complete this and this, it's going to happen, right? And I always saw my future as bright. And that's why I never stopped
Patricia Bright.
Patricia Bright, that's my auntie. So I've never saw myself here.
Yeah.
But I see myself here.
Yeah, it's just how do you get there?
How do I get there?
This is
and I feel like
the door to that.
And I feel like I'm going to keep pushing myself until I'm like, haha.
It's here. Finally.
It's finally here. I really went and grabbed it. And I feel like I'm not there yet. And that's why I keep working and keep working. Yeah. And I don't see it. It's not in my 9 to 5. I really don't see the connection, but I'm going to keep searching until I can find it, whether it's in business, whether it's a podcast, you know? So I really do see growth, and I'm just willing to like go out there and grab it.
Yeah. And I also feel like this podcast has taught me, like, because when we started it, podcasts were out there,
but now it's out
I'm never going to say it's oversaturated because there's never going to be a me and Ellie. Yeah. Never. Me and Ellie is me and Ellie. Yeah. Good Luck Sis is Good Luck Sis. There's never going to be that. But it does kind of get intimidating when you see other podcasts who are, I don't want to say more raunchy because we're open. We talk. Y'all know I swear, like, I do all of that. But who are more, I guess, like that in their content, not as like less purposeful, but more entertaining.
Yes.
And then you see them on the rise, but it makes you question our message, our purpose, and it's just kind of like, all right.
And then in the middle, when we started our Girlfriend's Guide podcast, you guys saw us. We were just like, we've always been 100% us. And towards the middle, I did start getting the sense as I started watching different podcasts, I'm like, oh, maybe I need to be more like open. And I remember, like, even for those who don't know, I'm 7-day Adventist, so it's just like topics like sex is not very like,
and we had a conversation about that in the beginning.
Tati would reach out like, hey, I want to bring this conversation up. We want to have a guest. Do you feel comfortable talking about it? I'm just like, honestly, it's a conversation that needs to be had. They don't have these conversations in the church, so I'm going to be willing to put myself out there and have that conversation.
And it's not like she goes to a church and she just sits down and no one knows her.
Yeah.
She's a part of her church. My church is big enough. I sit, no one knows my name, no one knows my face. Yeah. So it's like I'm a little bit more covered in that sense. But I feel like also throughout our podcast with my poetry, not saying I'm becoming known, but it's like, I'm knowing.
Tati J is known. Okay.
I am giving more opportunities to speak. And I'm actually given opportunities to speak from the healthcare perspective too. So now I'm like represented in terms of poetry where I can be more free. And that's like, diverse. I'm not really, But now it's like, okay, poetry and my nursing life is low-key starting to mix. And I never expected that. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to represent my podcast everywhere I go. Yeah. And it's like, if you're in the medical field, you're in any type of field where you're supposed to look and be viewed a certain way, it's very fearful of people seeing you outside of that aspect of it. So now that's when I kind of started to understand more where Ellie was coming from in terms of like, okay, well, people see me in this way. They know about this. And it's like, if we're going to grow, people are going to find out. Yeah. That's the only way it works. We're going to
find out. And it's not out here that we're like promoting, do this and this. We're just educating kids half these kids know about this elsewhere. So it's just
exactly.
like, let's have these conversations be normal for kids and parents and teenagers and like young adults to just discuss overall.
Yes. So I forgot where I was leading to because you see conversations would be flowing. But anyway, so yeah, Girlfriend's Guide podcast has taught me so much about myself. It's taught me I have a creative side. I'm able to grow in other aspects. I'm not just a nurse. I'm not just a daughter. I'm not just a Haitian girl. I am so much more than that. And it's okay to lean into that.
Yeah.
So I will forever be grateful for that journey. Forever be grateful for.
We needed it.
We needed it.
I think I needed it because
we needed it.
Not only you guys, not y'all holding me accountable for a lot of the things I said. I think like oftentimes if I have conversations with some of my friends, they'll be like, "But you said this on the podcast," and I'm like, "Did I?" And it's like, "Oh, not me being two-faced." And I'll be like, "Girl, you can do this," but she's like, "But you said this on the podcast." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I got to keep my word."
Exactly.
So it's just like, that's always nice too, because I'm like, I think about in the beginning of Girlfriend's Guide podcast, I talked about, being more vulnerable, being open to dating. And because I said it out to everyone, I felt like I had to
date. Where's the dating stories?
Yeah, I had to do it. Had to do a fiance. Got a fiance. So it's been so helpful because then it just allows us to have these conversations that we would have together on the phone, but we get to share them with you.
Exactly. And then another thing, going back to how like we would look at other podcasts, we're like, okay, well maybe we should, change this up, blah, blah, blah. We still stay true to ourselves. And can I just say, it's very hard to be a podcaster and come up with new or upcoming or fresh topics without sounding repetitive.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got to a point where it's like our episodes didn't have the meaning it used to have.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, let's just do it to put out an episode. And so that's why sometimes when you see us take breaks and we're not as consistent, even though we only do it twice a week, sometimes it's just kind of like, what is there to say? Like, honestly, what is there to say? We talked about this already, or this is just something that we always hear. It's just kind of like, all right, let's just take a break, which I also hope with this podcast now we're able to grow beyond just episodes. And who knows what that means? We don't know, but it's like where if we don't put out an episode, we're not just viewed as a podcast. We have other things to offer. Hence, maybe brand deals, like merch, other things where it's just like, Good Luck Sis. And notice we didn't even say Good Luck Sis podcast. We said Good Luck Sis. That way it can encompass whatever comes underneath that. Right. Because like I said, the podcast, we love to talk, but there's only so much you can say sometimes. Yeah. But I do feel like we stay true to ourselves.
Yep. 100%.
We didn't really switch. We're just us. And I feel like
this is what you get.
This is what you get.
If you've ever been in a room with me, like this is me.
This is it. So, and it's like, my podcast journey in terms of listening started with Horrible Decisions, Cocktails, things that were sexually liberating for women. And then it came more into entertainment things. And it's like, I never found a podcast we could relate to in terms of, oh, this is like me and Ellie. This is kind of like the same genre. Now I feel like Know For Sure is kind of like a hybrid with B. Simone and Megan Ashley. If y'all don't listen to that, it's a really good podcast. They started like a little bit over a year ago. In the beginning, I feel like it was more related to us. Now it's a little bit more God-based, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
Because we talk about God a good amount here, and I feel like our relationships with God always, ebbs and flows, so we talk about that. But I feel like that's probably the closest podcast I feel like it's more like us. So to see them creating a space for like, not necessarily the everyday girl, because they're not everyday girls. They're B. Simone and Megan Ashley. But more so, it's like, it doesn't have to be sex. It doesn't have to be dressing up sexy. It doesn't have to do
out
all
in
of
the club.
that.
It gotta be
it can just
shaking
be like,
butt, shaking ass. Like, it doesn't have to be all that.
Yeah, so I feel like we're a combination of everything, and we're finally like okay with that. Like, we don't have to do anything else but be ourselves.
I don't want to be anybody else. I like myself,
You like yourself. Good job for liking yourself. So yeah, guys, this is Luck Sis. This is what we want to bring to you guys. Thank you for supporting Girlfriend's Guide podcast, but I hope with this change, you're able to still continue with us on this journey. Yeah. And I'm excited. And we still have Melanin Mondays. I know we've been kind of slacking on those, but we do. And our the Melanin Monday I picked was Girlfriend's Guide podcast.
Aww.
Like, because it is a part of who we are.
It's not rest in peace to Girlfriend's Guide.
It's still in us. It's still here. But like I said, we had no choice but to change the name. But also, it's like there's an evolution of us, and our podcast should reflect that. I feel like Good Luck Sis, like, and now it's just like, boys.
Girlfriend's Guide podcast is always gonna be
part of Good Luck Sis.
Yeah, part of Good Luck
always
Sis.
And forever. Yeah. So, but this is to pay homage to where we started, and also shout out to D, because when we first started our podcast, he helped us with the cover art. Our first photo shoot was because of him. Shout out to Sam, because she helped us pick the very first intro music.
Yes, Sam.
To that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Josh, the chicken room, fully loaded. Like, you guys helped us.
Our brother podcast.
Immensely. And then honestly, without them, I don't even think Girlfriend's Guide podcast would have gotten that big. Like, when Mandy hit us up in the DM, we called Josh immediately, like, Josh, so we need to be in the studio. So what can we do? And boom, the next morning we were in the studio early. So thank you to everyone who's helped us. Our lawyers, Primark Media has helped us from day one as well.
And as of now.
So thank you to, and if I'm forgetting anyone, I'm so sorry. But thank you for all of that. Anyone who's ever had us on our podcast, Double M Media. Shout out to you guys for having us on your podcast. Like, everyone, all our guests, it's just kind of like, thank you. Just thank you. And we hope not to disappoint with this new era that we're entering in. And obviously, you guys are always family. And it's like, we'll continue to work with each other, but you guys are pivotal in us starting out. And so thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, and guys, that's the first episode of Good Luck Sis. And we hope you enjoyed it, and follow us, Good Luck Sis, on Instagram, YouTube, and stay tuned for more.
Yes, we'll see you guys on our next episode.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.